Former San Diego Mayor and CEO of the city's Chamber of Commerce, Jerry Sanders. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Thank you.
Now, who's attending this weekend's trade conference in Mexico, and what's on your agenda?
Well, we have Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom's attending, Mayor Kevin Faulconer. We have representatives from the governor's office in Balboa, and the mayor of Tijuana will be there for a day. And it's a lot of business leaders. There's a lot of city council members from various regions around San Diego and on the Mexican side. So it'll be over 70 people, which is our largest delegation ever. And what we hope to accomplish when we get down there is talking about border infrastructure on both sides of the border, talking about a cross-border railroad and the importance of that, and trying to nail that down.
Tell me a little bit more about that railroad. You said it's been there since the 80s, but it's not used a lot.
Well, it's been there for a long time, and it was washed out in the 80s. It was Hurricane Kathleen, I think. And we have a company now that's rebuilt a lot of the American side. So if we can get that going, Toyota manufactures all the Toyota Tacoma trucks in North America in Tijuana. They can take those by rail instead of all these trucks that go through San Diego right now. There's about 600 maquiladoras in Tijuana that do a very sophisticated manufacturing, and it'd be great benefit to them and the San Diego region, because 40% of all the product that goes into the Mexican manufacturing comes from San Diego.
So you could use that railroad. Is a comprehensive immigration reform on the agenda?
Well, it's something we talk about all the time. We don't talk about it as much in Mexico. I think Mexico's on board. In our September trip to Washington, D.C., we'll talk about that extensively, as we did last year, because immigration reform is sorely needed for business. They need to have the visas to get a lot of the workers that they need. We also need to keep university students from other countries that our high-tech universities, UCSD, San Diego State, train and keep them in our economy here.
The Chamber was instrumental in getting San Diego City Council, I understand, to rescind an increase in the linkage fee, which is, of course, paid for by commercial developers to help pay for affordable housing. As part of that agreement, I understand, the Chamber said they would help develop an alternative plan. What's the status of that alternative plan?
Well, there's been a representative from the Chamber and one from the Jobs Coalition has met 3 times with Rick Gentry from the Housing Commission. We'll continue to negotiate on that and to figure out the best way to have a long-term funding source and a significant funding source. So it's something that we're still working on and we'll continue to work on.
The Balboa Park, I know we're moving through these quickly, but the Celebration Incorporated group started under your administration. It disbanded recently, as you know, without much to show for the nearly $3 million in public money they spent. Do you think the plans were just too big from the very beginning? They wanted these, year-long celebration every day.
Well, I don't think they were too big from the beginning. I think you have to think about a big plan. But what happened was, when we started out, one of our philanthropists, Dr. Irwin Jacobs, was going to give $34 million to redo the Plaza de Panama to shut off vehicular traffic. And he was treated pretty poorly by a lot of people, including the last mayor. And I think that sent a chilling effect out to the philanthropic community about investing in the park. And I think we see the lingering impact of that by this celebration being scaled back dramatically.
Speaking of philanthropic efforts, the San Diego Opera is set to fold in a couple of weeks. What kind of impact do you think that would have on San Diego's economy?
Well, San Diego has a thriving arts and culture community. About $170 million a year comes in cultural tourism. Obviously, it'll have an impact. The opera is a big draw for a lot of people. It also employs about 400 people, but I think that's going to send a message to all the other arts and cultures organizations that we need to come together as a community and really support arts and culture, because that also draws a lot of businesses to our region. Is
there anything that the Chamber can do to help?
Well, we have a representative on our board from the arts and culture industry. She talked this morning about the impact, and I think it's something we have in mind all the time, and it gave many of our board directors an opportunity to engage with her to find out how we best lay out a role for business to help out in the arts and culture community.
All right, former mayor of San Diego, Jerry Sanders, thanks so much.
Thank you.